Heyo, I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again with another action figure review. In this episode, we're taking a look at the Mythic Legions Advent of Decay wave. This is Jjuno the Crusher. Very cool line, so if you're not familiar with Mythic Legions, they are put out by the Four Horsemen. You can check out their shop, fourhorsemen.com or store.fourhorsemen.com, whatever it is. They got a very nice and robust Mythic Legions line here with lots of different figures to choose from. They are all kind of mix and matchable and customizable, so you can take pieces from one figure and put it in with another figure, and they're kind of made to do that as opposed to just being able to do that, I guess. So anyways, they put a lot of thought into that kind of customizable options when they put the line out, so that's one of their kind of selling points, I guess you could say. But anyways, we're looking at this one. This is in the 6-inch scale, so kind of a standard female figure for the line. You can see very nice looking box art here, the Mythic Legions logo here, the cool standard background image there. The side just has this little logo here. The other side has a little bio card for Jjuno the Crusher. And on the back we've got the standard back card art for the Mythic Legions line, along with a couple of the other figures from the set that you can look for, a bio and everything like that. So very cool. Check out mythiclegions.com for more information about the series. One thing I will point out, and I actually mentioned it in our last review of the Goblin Legion builder from this same line, the packaging is meant to be reusable, so it's very much kind of collector friendly and things like that, so you can pop these things off and then put them back in and put them back together and still have kind of a sealed packaging. It's got good points and bad points. For one, I like the ease and the way to do it. I'm not too keen about that from the collector side of things, in that it's really hard to know if it's been opened or not, I guess. So for those of us who are kind of weird about those kinds of things, which is why I've done so many of my unboxings here on the channel the way I have, is because I like to know that everything that comes with the figure is with the figure, I guess, if that makes sense. So when you have resellable packages like this, it's just kind of hard to know when you buy from somebody if they're actually including everything or not. Yeah, so that's really my only big concern about that. But regardless of that, let's go ahead and get this figure open. We're just going to kind of pull this card off. They got these little plastic tabs all the way around, and you basically just kind of bend them around a little bit, and then the card just kind of pops off. I'm not too worried about these things as far as the reusability goes, because there's a nice plain picture of the card art. I typically am an opener and like to keep my things separate, so we have a big huge box or bag of accessories, which we will look at here in a moment. The figure just lifts out of the tray like this, and then you've got the rest of this that you can pull out if you want to, or leave it in there and reuse it later. So I don't do a whole lot of that. Once I open things, they're pretty much staying open, but I'll buy sometimes 2 of these things if I want something to keep packaged. So we also have a couple of these twist ties holding the figure in, so I'm just going to snip these because I don't want to untwist tie them. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments section down below how you feel about these reusable packages and things like that. It's an interesting concept. I just don't really hold to it much myself. So, okay. All right. So we pulled off the little plasticky things. We've got a sword here as an accessory, and it does actually have a piece of tape holding this one in. That is interesting. I've not actually seen that one before. So even if you do have openings, and it's easy to tell once you get it in hand whether or not something has been opened and repackaged. But if you're trying to buy it sight unseen, I guess that's where the issue usually comes in for me. There, got it out, and it's still got a piece of tape on it. So there's the accessories. Then the figure itself comes out very easily, just pops out like that. We'll throw the packaging to the side here and think about reusing it later. And we're going to dump out this bag of accessories. Then we'll zoom in here and take a look and see what we got here. So, yes, so if you've ever gotten any of the rest of these Mythic Legions lines, you'll see a lot of these similar pieces. These are basically the connector pieces to help building and configuring things the way you want them to be configured. We get a lot of these belts as well. And you do get pieces like this that have to be put together, which is very cool. We'll look at that here in a moment. And we get some accessory pieces for her armor and a cool axe here. So let's go ahead and just zoom in a little bit here before I dive in too much to these accessories. There we go. Probably right there is fine. I can get the camera to hold still right there. So very kind of standard looking figure here. You've got these customization points that allow you to kind of peg in some of these things here. And we'll look at those here in a moment and look at the figure in a moment as well. But let's start with the accessories here. We do have this really cool sword. Very nice detail on this thing. I really like the little touches of the color on it. So we've got the gold handle and then the silver on everything else. And I like the fact that they've got some nice detail in these things and they look very cool. So they are kind of standard looking accessories, I guess. So in my head that equates to you can use them with all sorts of different styles and things like that. So it's really nice, just kind of basic design. So very cool looking sword there. We have this really awesome axe. This is kind of their standard axe that they use in a lot of these figures, with a slightly different paint job than what we saw in the actual Goblin Legion builder. This has got a nice brown wood hilt and the kind of gunmetal gray, I guess I would say, on the actual blade itself. Again, really nice details on this thing. It looks really amazing. So yeah, very cool looking axe. I really like this style of axe. Very much has that kind of Viking feel to me. So next up we have these shoulder pauldrons. So we've got a set of two, one for each shoulder. So we'll look at the detail on here. They've got kind of a nice grimy wash to it. Nice and dirty. Because this is kind of the Advent of Decay wave. So, you know, you're starting to see some rust and some wear on some armor pieces. They're not all real bright and shiny, which I really do like that look and feel of these sets. So the way these work, you take the figure itself, we showed that earlier. You got these little tab points on like her shoulders. You take this little piece here and just kind of plug it into that little shoulder joint there. Press in place and you have armor. And you can do that for both of these if you want to. You can do it with a single point. That's kind of where the customization thing comes in. You can kind of make this figure the way you want it to look. So you can do it with a single shoulder pauldron. You can do it with the right one, the left one, with both, or with none of them. So that is very cool, and I really like that system. It definitely gives you a lot of options here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off for right now. But simple plug in, plug out kind of thing there. Same thing with these bits here. These are meant to plug into the back and gives you options. So like right here is the actual plug-in piece itself. You just kind of plug these in like so. And then you've got options for other things, like they have a wing accessory kit, so you can give her wings if you wanted to. And they do have a couple of different things here. So these are 2 different sizes of holes for the accessories. So yeah, you can do all sorts of cool things with this if you want to. Again, I'm just going to pull this off for right now since we're just looking at these accessories. This is another piece that is the same kind of concept here. It's just an accessory piece for attaching other pieces to it. Excuse me. We also have this kind of standard belt that we've seen in other figures like this. It's got some nice detail. Really nice looking kind of leather work. If I can get it to focus there. Some distressing and things like that. You can see some of the stitch joints. And you do have this cool little slit there for adding in your sword, your axe, whatever it is that you want to do. And you can kind of just slip this on either around her waist, around her shoulders, whatever you want to. Again, you kind of have to pull her head off and then wrap that around like so. Then you can stick the head back on, and then you can put like the sword back there to get around the hair, but like that right there, and you've got a nice sling for this whatever weapon it is. It doesn't have to be the sword, but that is a very cool accessory, and I really like that. I also really like how easy these things pop on and off. Again, the Four Horsemen put a lot of work into making sure that this interchangeability system works well, and I like that a lot. So there's that accessory. Then up next we have this really awesome Warhammer thing here. It does come in 2 pieces, as you can see here, and again, it's simple peg hole, and on this piece there's a peg. You can just slide that in place right there, mostly, there we go, and just kind of pop it in place there. Squeeze on it a little bit. So color is a little bit off on these 2, which I'm not that happy about, but it's fine. They do have other pieces that you can change in and out there as well, but so very nice detail on this big hammer thing here. Lots of intricate little pieces there. And they do have that that kind of black washing going on here. Very cool looking. Very nice handles. A lot of these handles that they have are also interchangeable, so you can make a couple of different pieces. Short handles, long handles, whatever you want here. I think this one is just one single piece, so still a very cool looking hammer. Very awesome looking. So that covers our accessories for this one. Next up, we'll just go ahead and look at the figure itself. So this is Jjuno. The figure itself doesn't have a lot of detail in like the actual flesh itself. They actually do a pretty good job though. They have like some musculature sculpted in there. It's not just like a plain buck or anything. You can definitely tell where things are supposed to be. Like on her stomach, she has some definition, just not really hyper detailed, I guess you could say. It has a very clean look to it, and I really do like the way they've done this here. It kind of seems more authentic than a lot of the figures that we get. So I really like the aesthetic look of this anyways. Looking at her face here, we do have a very nice head sculpt here. So I got that cool paint on there. Really nice job with the sculpting on the hair. Again, that is that really soft plastic here, so you don't have to worry too much about anything. Their braids here look really awesome as well. Cool earrings. The rest of the details look very nice here. Her chest armor has that same kind of dirty look that these pauldrons have here. Very nice little belt piece here. Very cool looking. I like that metallic shimmer on that jewel thing there. We've got two different types of gauntlets here. Again, some really nice details on these things. You can see all sorts of cool stitching on that one. The buckles. And then on this side, she's got the actual gauntleted hand, which is very nice. Then moving on down, you've got these cool knee pads. Again, tons of detail level. That's one of the things that I really liked about this line that kind of brought me to it, is just the amount of detailing here. These are great for getting examples for like costume design and cosplay, things like that. And even in the boots, you can see like the way the leather is creasing in certain places. So very nice looking there. Articulation wise, the head does spin 360 degrees. The hair does kind of get in the way, but it's not too bad. Again, it's that kind of softer plastic, so not that big a deal. The head does move up and down. It doesn't move up a whole lot because, again, of her hair there. But you do have plenty of side head tilt there, so pretty good posability there. Standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joints there. It opens about that far, which isn't too bad. We got a standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint. What is that thing called? Elbow joint. Then we have a swivel at the mid forearm, I guess you could say, there for that cool gauntlet there. Then a standard ball and swivel joint here for the wrist. Same thing on the other side here. Same articulation, though it's a different hand. Still has the same articulation there, so that's really nice. The chest piece is this weird rocker ball joint kind of thing. So you have you can do side to side, front to back, swivel, all that good stuff there. Very cool. You get your traditional ab crunch feature going on there. That's really nice. I do like that as a swivel joint, which gives you some added posability for doing subtle motion, I guess you could say, or subtle posability. We do have the twist joint at the waist. We've got the standard plastic T-hook kind of things at the waist and hips. So we get full side motion, full front motion, full back motion there. Nothing hindered whatsoever. Really nice looking. Works really well. We do have a single knee joint, and there we go. It's a little stiff on this one, but it works pretty well. Some of these actually come with thigh joint twist, but this one is not. Same thing. We do have a twist at the bottom of the knee, though, which is very cool. Then we have kind of swivel, rocker, twisty combo thing at the ankles. I don't really know what you call that particular joint. These are always a little bit weird to me in that they look odd, like when you pose them a certain way. So you just kind of have to be careful with them because they're usually a little bit more fragile as well. But all in all, this one has a ton of that cool articulation on it. Sorry, I can't think straight today. So yeah, really awesome articulation on this thing. It's a really nice looking figure here. I'm really impressed with this. As far as scale-wise goes, I do have here a Masters of the Universe He-Man figure, so you can kind of see, Masters of the Universe Classics. This is the one from the DC versus Masters of the Universe Classics line, but it's the same basic He-Man figure as the rest of the line. So scale-wise, these things do definitely fit in really well with one another. They complement each other pretty well. So again, here is a good example of kind of, this figure has that kind of hyper detail level where there's lots of sculpting in the muscles and things like that. Whereas this figure, it's a more subtle look. So to me, again, that does kind of look more like a little closer to reality, even though this is a fantasy world. So I know that's weird, but to me, I really like that particular way they've done the sculpting. So weapons are interchangeable. You can check out the Goblin Legion Builder figure review for the interactivity between weapons and things like that. But yeah, these are really awesome here. Let's go ahead and get her geared up with her sword here. And sure, why not the hammer as well? One thing that you'll want to be careful of is some of these joints are a little weird. Again, they're great for posability and for customizability, but some of them are a little weak. So I'm a little cautious of this particular wrist simply because it seems weird and seems very loose. But as you can see here, with the figure and the weapons, it just looks amazing here. So yeah, this particular figure I'm really impressed with. I really like the way this one turned out, and I'm very impressed with it. So yeah, this is a very cool looking figure, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this one whatsoever. Price-wise, these things run about $40 to $50 retail, which is normally that is higher than I want to pay for a regular action figure. But to be honest with you, the level of detail in this thing kind of warrants the price. You can't go to Walmart and get these things, so you're not going to be getting them mass produced for, $10 a figure, or even, regular Marvel Universe figures, Marvel Legends run $20 retail. So you're paying about twice as much for this figure as you would a Marvel Legends figure. But I think the quality is here, and I really dig the aesthetic look of these things. So to me, I think it's worth that price. If you're trying to go back and get previous figures from earlier waves, this is, I want to say like wave 8 or something like that. But their earlier figures are really kind of hard to come by, and they go for a larger price online than the standard 40 to 50 retail range. So definitely you need to try to pick these things up as they are being released. I usually go through Big Bad Toy Store or someplace like that as an online retailer. You're welcome to use whatever retailer you want, but that's a good one for me. But yeah, I really like this figure, and I'm really happy with it, and yeah, this is a cool figure. Well, that's all the time we have for today, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of Jjuno the Crusher from the Mythic Legions line from the Four Horsemen. Yeah, so cool figure. Let us know what you think about it. If you've used other figures in the Mythic Legions line, what's your favorite? Which ones would you like to see reviewed in future episodes? Is there anything else you'd like to see looked at in future? Drop that in the comment section and I'll do my best to get it out in front of y'all. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to share it with your friends or people that you are just acquainted with. That's equally as well good. Hit the like button if you so like. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Whatever floats your boat. Till next time.